Oh, hello. And I am so glad to be here tonight talking just like tips and tricks. Planning is my jam. If you guys don't know this about me, I am an Enneagram 1. If you follow the Enneagram, I'm a perfectionist. But if you do the color code, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, we can do like the color personality again in the group chat. But as a color, I'm a red green. So I'm very direct. I believe in tons of information. I think that like the world is an information buffet, and Lord knows I am not eating all 712,000 items that are available. But I do like to know that the buffet is there, and I do like to know that if I want some cheesecake, I can get some cheesecake. So if ever I'm saying something or you're like, that doesn't really make sense, or if it just seems like a lot of information, don't feel any pressure to do anything one particular way. It is your buffet, baby. We will make sure that you get the platter and the plate that you like and that you are happy with and that feels good to you. So the reason I say all of that is because hope is not a strategy. Like, I believe in hope. I think everybody should have hope. But I know myself personally, I used to say that I have things in my head. I always have things in my head. I can keep things in my mind. I remember to do things. I used to believe that if I just posted about what I do, that people would know what I do and they're just going to come to me when they're ready. But it's human nature to have a path and a plan. And our brains really want that. So I encourage you, as you're going about anything really in life, when you think to yourself, oh, I can just do it this way, right? I hate to say it this way, but this is my direct kind of fashion, is like excuses are lies we tell ourselves that only we believe, right? So when you feel like there's a limitation or you feel like maybe that's not something for you, that's okay in that particular realm, but let's try to figure out a way that it works in your world, right? Because there's part in the description, but I come from Maine, so we got a lot. We're all New Englanders here. Like, there's more than one way to skin a cat, so we have to have a plan and we have to know where we're going, because that's the way our brains are designed to work. And you have a big, beautiful brain in your mind. Like, we all, like, you can learn anything. You can learn anything. So if you're struggling or you're like, that's not for me, if anybody has ever told you that you are dumb or can't learn something, or I'm giving you permission right now to wish endless diarrhea upon them, because you can learn anything. And all bad habits are redirectable. So I say that because a lot of what we do, and a lot of reaching out or a lot of even thinking about what you need to do can be really overwhelming. And especially when you're like, you don't know where to begin, or if you're just getting started with something, you don't feel confident because you don't know which way to go or what to do. And so, coming from New England, I love the idea that confidence isn't about my current skills and abilities. Confidence is my ability to figure things out. And that's where it comes back to. There is a beautiful buffet of resources. We can figure anything out. So don't feel like everything has to be perfect or you have to know everything before you get started. And I say that because I'm an Enneagram 1, which in my brain, everything is binary and there's a perfect way for everything. And it has paralyzed me in the past. And I'm so happy to be able to share the tips and tricks that have helped me get past that. Because once I got past that, that's where the magic happens, okay? When we don't think that we can do everything on our own, or we have to do everything on our own, because we certainly don't. So when I'm getting started for my day, my week, my month, anything like that, I am a planner person. I like literally like a physical planner. If you use electronics and that's better for you, by all means, do you boo, but have a calendar, because the days fly by, and I don't know if anybody else has been living a quarantine life and you're not really sure what day or month or holy moly Christmas is in like 3 weeks. Having a calendar is going to keep you on track so you can move. Success loves speed. So we want to move things along and not leave things waiting for a week or two until we remember again. I have a planner, and then I also have a notebook. I typically work with, it's literally just like a Walmart notebook, okay? But I write everything down. People's lists, things that you all tell me randomly, sometimes I will write it down because just to be honest, again, a lot of things going on in life, and we have the best intentions, but sometimes we forget things. Or sometimes we remember at an inopportune time. So I use the notes on my phone, but I always have a notebook so that we can know where we're going. And also, it's very satisfying for me personally to cross things off of the list. And chemically speaking, in your brain, it is very satisfying for your brain to have accomplished something, and then you're motivated. There's actually a chemical reaction that occurs that you want to do something else. You've accomplished, and now you're like, oh, give me another carrot, right? So even things as simple as making my bed are on my to-do list every day because it's the thing that starts me off and it gets me going on the right track. This is also important because you're keeping a promise to yourself, okay? And that comes back to confidence. When we say we're going to do something and then something happens or an excuse comes up and then we don't do it, then the next time we go to do it, it's like even more scary because now we're like, well, I didn't do it last time and now I suck. And now it's been so long and they don't even want to talk to me. Now it's gonna be weird, right? And now you're talking to yourself about all this negative things. If you write it down, now it's on your list. It's an actionable item that your brain instinctively wants to take care of, doesn't want it there. So if you cross it off, you've now increased your confidence. You've done a task that your brain in the future is going to say, hey, I've done this before and I didn't die. Okay. And that's what it comes down to. All of our uncertainties, all of the worries about what we're doing, it's just our caveman brain keeping us from dying. And I promise you, there are no lions that are going to jump out of your screen and eat you. So your caveman brain is totally safe. Totally safe. And I have to tell myself that every single day when I sit down to do my daily IPAs. So that's the first thing is we will not die. And these are our IPAs. So IPAs are income producing activities. And these are things in order of importance that I do every day. I see the notebook's ready. I like it. This is my jam. So the number one thing is personal reach outs. So we're needing to do 3 to 5 personal reach outs a day. Now, if you are wanting to build a huge business, maybe you do more. If you only want to help maybe 2 people, maybe you do 2 or 3 reach outs a day, right? Everything is scalable. So when I say do 3 to 5 and that's like freaks you out, okay, well, we'll dial it back so you're comfortable, right? But the most important thing is we have to do it. The number one most important thing. So we have to reach out and ask people. And that includes like when I'm reaching out to people, I'm following up with people who have been on the fence before. Those are just creating and increasing that relationship. I'm adding value to them, either by way of the fact that I just care and I'm checking on you. I'm loving on you well as a friend, or I'm offering you a sample. I'm inviting you to learn more, right? I'm sharing with you maybe an article I read. But it's about creating connection and not just like, hey, you want to buy this yet? No? Okay. Talk to you on Tuesday. Like, we need to be personal in our reach outs, right? And then the next thing that I do is following up with the existing people that I know love their products. I'm doing good customer care. I'm making sure that they're getting started, that they're actually taking their products consistently. And then every time they share with me a win, I'm encouraging them to share that win. Oh my gosh, that would make a great post. Or who do you know that can also wants to get off of their steroid injections all of the time, right? Who else do you know that wants to lose 5 pounds? Who do you know how many people want to feel better like that? Like, who can we tell that to? That's amazing. Always doing that continued encouragement. They may say no. That's okay. We're just offering coffee and dessert, and maybe they don't want it that day. We're just planting a seed. The day you plant the seed is never the day you harvest the fruit. Think about anything you've ever put in a garden. Think about an apple orchard. The day you plant the seed is not the day you harvest the fruit. So we just keep watering it and loving people well. The next is inviting people to experience an event, right? We have events through the table and through One Tribe all of the time. If you want to do an event, or if you're like, hey, I've got like 3 friends coming over to my house later and we want to talk about Plexus, that's an event, right? Anytime that you are talking to someone and sharing information with them is considered an event. So we just want to, again, increase that conversation level, right? If you want to grow your business, you need to be in more conversations. And it doesn't have to always be about Plexus. It's just about that communication and that relationship. And then, so now we're 4th on the list before we get to posting. Okay, 4th on the list. And that posting is not necessarily always a Plexus post. The current algorithm on Facebook or Instagram, like if you're posting more than twice a day, you're competing with your own content in people's news feeds. And then the only thing that they're going to show is the thing that people are liking and commenting on, which is going to be your meme and not your Plexus post. Because nobody wants anybody else to know that they have problems with their poop. Like, and I'm saying that because
my brother does. My brother posted when he got back from the boat, he said, I pooped today. And I said, a Plexus poop? And he said, yes. So some people are really just out there. He had a Plexus poop. He was so excited.
That's true. That is true. I do have one girl who I posted a meme about pooping and she goes, oh my God, this is my life. Can you help me? And I was like, yes, I can. You do on occasion have the person who's going to be like, help me poop or help me stop pooping for the love of. So yes, we always have those people. We always love those people. Yes, ma'am, I can help you. But a lot of people, like I will post something and it will get, 75 likes. And literally the next thing I'll post, and I know it's going in people's news feeds because I know that's how the algorithm works. And the next one I'll get like 6 likes. Like you got to detach from that because in the beginning it used to chew me up. I'm like, nobody likes what I'm posting. They just don't want other people to know their business. Vulnerability is the first thing we look for in someone else, but it's the last thing that we share about ourselves. And so again, that comes to the communication, the connection, by reaching out to people and just being a good human, you're increasing that relationship account. But we're posting consistently. And so if you're active on Facebook and you're posting every day, you should be posting about Plexus, maybe 30% of the time. So maybe 3 times a week. Maybe, right? You can use your stories like crazy because those expire. But on your main news feed, if we post a lot, and again, this is personal experience. I paid a person a lot of money to give me this advice and audit my news feed, okay? They were like, you are vomiting Plexus on everybody and your news feed is like a billboard and it's not attractive. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank you for that. And I appreciate the way you packaged it in such a warm, fuzzy, really nice way.
Sometimes I catch myself posting too much and you just go back on your wall and it is like, it's like days apart or maybe a week apart, but it's only been a week since you posted about the Plexus the last time. There was nothing in between there. So I am going to get better at that.
It's something that I pay attention to sometimes too, because I'm like, I'll get really excited and it'll be like, wait a minute. Am I being an excited puppy right now? Everybody loves an excited puppy, right? Until the puppy is like humping your leg. This is on a recording. So that's my sage advice for you. Okay. Everybody loves a happy puppy. Nobody likes it when the puppy humps their leg. That's all I've got. So we're doing personal posting. We're being consistent. I love stories because you can see who sees it. Whereas with a scroll, a newsfeed, they can go right past, and unless they like or comment, you're not going to know. So personal, consistent posting. And I also love going back and looking at like my 10 last posts, and you see who engaged on the non-plexus stuff. And then you can kind of be like, oh, I'm going to start posting testimonies maybe that lean more towards that direction. So we can be a little investigative, but our personal content is very important. It just, unfortunately, we have to work with the algorithm of Facebook, and that's just on Zuckerberg. Don't ask me about it. Moving on. Next thing we're doing is coaching. And a lot of folks at this point say, I don't have anybody to coach. And I said that for a very long time because all of my customers were wholesale customers and they didn't want to share at all, which is totally fine. I love that about Plexus, that you're not required to do that. But for a long time, I was like, I don't need to do anything. I don't have anybody to teach. Oh my gosh, there's a mirror right there. I just saw myself do that. I was like, you have yourself to teach. There's always something that you can learn. And so even if it's just a quick little video on personal development or leadership or a product video, right? Something from the back office. Use 5 minutes or take 5 minutes, right? Take when you're driving, listen to something that's going to increase that level of knowledge and increase your leadership lid. For even just for yourself, it's an incredible tool to have. After we're learning and pouring into ourselves, then we're going to follow up some more with existing people and how can we love on them well. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot emotionally invest into all of the people if you are not giving something to yourself too. And I think everybody on this, except for me, is a mom. So I feel like you all really intimately understand what it means to give to others. So my prayer for you is that you are taking that time to invest in yourself as well, because Lord have mercy, it pays back tenfold. So we're following up with other people, we're loving on them well, and then we are looking for growth opportunities in our back office. So if you're just getting started and you don't have anybody in your back office, then we can't dig for gold where there's no ground. But as you do get 1, 2, 3 people, we want to make sure that they are getting the best bang for their buck and that they're getting the most out of their membership. So that's the last thing that I'm doing, is kind of going back through with a fine-tooth comb and making sure that everybody is getting what they need, right? But I've also taken the time to make sure I got what I need. All right. So the last thing, and then we'll go to a little bit of chatting, is what I'm doing on a weekly basis. So that's my everyday, right? We're doing personal reach outs. We're doing personal follow-up. We're doing social media. We're doing personal development. We're inviting people and adding value. These are the things that we are looking at on a day-to-day basis. Weekly, hold on, where'd my notes go? That's not it, that's not it. Oh, I got flipped over. See, I told you I'm a pen and paper girl. If I don't write it down, like, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, I dropped on my chain.
Okay, so when I'm looking at the week, and this, a lot of folks go like, oh, I just have what I'm going to do for the day, and then I'm going to like figure it out at the end of the day what I'm doing tomorrow. It's great. I absolutely do that at the end of the day. I make my list for the next day, what I want to get done. But on a weekly basis, we have to look at the big picture, because you cannot get from New York to LA if you do not first decide that you're going to LA and know where you're starting in New York. Okay, you have to have your starting address. You got to know where you are. So, and a lot of folks will say, well, I'll just get in the car and drive. You at least know you're going west, because if you're in New York and you get on 95 South, you are not getting to LA. You are getting to Florida. Okay, is that my
Someone's calling us in the questions and things.
Oh, hold on. We're going to pause the recording. I'm going to resume our recording. All right. So hopefully, but yeah, I just told her to click the link. So we have to decide that we are going from New York to LA, and we are not going to get on 95 South. So even if you say like, oh, I know where I'm going, you're still making these choices. Okay. So we need to have the big picture in mind. telling you, it's the magic sauce. It sounds real simple, but you're like, why am I doing this? We're looking at the things that went right. We are celebrating our wins. We are telling our brain, yes, we did good. Awesome job. You did not die. You can do that again. We're looking for places for improvement. What didn't go so great? And I do this even in my everyday life. Just like, hey, what was awesome about my healthy habits and the things that I want to do for myself last week or last month? Where do I want to improve and where do I want to do better? Right? That's really what we're looking at. And then in doing that, like business wise, I'm looking at my goals. Where do I want to go? Right now we have enrolled 2 by the 15th. So I'm thinking, who can I get? Right? Like, I hate to say it that way. That sounds real car salesy, but I need 2 people before the 15th. So law of averages, that's 1 per week, right? We're breaking it down into steps. We are checking our road plan for where's the gas station. We are trying to break it down into bite-sized chunks because nobody can drive from New York to LA without stopping one time. You're going to stop multiple times, okay? But it's just impossible. So we have to have these road marks so that we know that we're on the right track, that we haven't all of a sudden veered south and can't get back on the road. So we're looking at our goals. We are looking at how, like, what type of time we have to get there. How can we work this in? And that brings us to the next thing of scheduling, which for me, this one's a little bit hard because I have a lot of time flexibility. I know a lot of folks who are home a lot. If you're homeschooling, I know my homeschooling mamas have told me that this is a difficult one as well, because you love time flexibility. You love kind of going where life takes you. But again, hope is not a strategy. And I speak from personal experience because I have all day long to work my business. This is my only job. We are child free. Again, like, I have all day to do it. So why do I need to write down when I'm going to do it? Why do I need to make a schedule? Because I also have all day not to work my business. And when I'm trying to avoid something, it's amazing how many dishes I can find to wash, right? Or that the floors need to be done, or that the laundry is like, you know, there's always going to be something that's pulling my attention. And for me, being a wife is my number 1 priority. And so if I'm uncomfortable elsewhere, I default to where I'm comfortable in my priority. And so that will always take precedent. And so you have to carve out the time and say, no, this is an item that needs to get done. It is a priority as well. Oh, hold on. Okay, perfect. So we're writing down when this is going to happen and what the priorities of our week are. And even if it's just like, for me personally, I have about 90 minutes every morning before my husband gets up. I have to have that time for myself. I have learned enough that if I don't have that, I am going to most likely be struggling to improve my mood for the rest of the day. So I know that that's the most important. That sets me up for everything else. Okay. I know that my exercise is really important. So that is a priority for me to ensure it gets done every day. Think about what's important for you, your kiddos. If you work outside of the home, right? Homework time, family time, all of these things are considered. And I talked to my husband. I'm like, listen, you know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I was like, honey, you're going to feed yourself. You're going to be having Thanksgiving leftovers for 4 days and you are going to have to reheat them yourself because I am doing something else that's important to me. If you don't draw these boundaries, you have no idea how to let in the important things, right? Walls are built to keep things out. Boundaries allow you to protect yourself and let in the things that are really beneficial to you. So we are scheduling things, and then every week I'm looking and refreshing my contacts list, because now that I know what I need to do, I need to know who I'm going to be talking to. And this is not all just about Plexus. It's who do I want to build a better relationship with? Who do I want to learn more about, right? We have to have that connection with folks so that they know and like us and can trust us when we make that recommendation about Plexus, right? Otherwise, it's just like, hey, do you want to buy this thing? No? Okay. Talk to you on Tuesday. See if you want to buy it then.
See, and I've just learned something new about one of my cousins by her signing on this past week. I didn't know some of the things that she shared with me. So still even learning about family, like distant family, but still it's kind of nice to now be more connected.
Yes. Yes. And that is so wonderful because there are 7.6 billion people in this world. And every single person knows something that we don't know. Like, how amazing is that? And think about the possibilities for your big, beautiful brain and all the things that you can learn. Like, there is so much open to the world if we just say, yes, this is possible. Yes. That is a complete sentence in and of itself. It is possible. It's going to be hard, sure. She's prettier than me, sure. Like, whatever. There's always going to be something else at the end of that. For every 7.6 billion person on this world is going to have a different end to that sentence. But it is possible is the core. So we're making a list. We're checking it twice. And these are folks that maybe you've talked to about Plexus in the past and you want to revisit it, or maybe they just posted and said, oh my God, I haven't slept for another night, right? They're openly sharing with you the things that they're struggling with. It gives you an opportunity to build that relationship with them further and continue to add value to your, oops, sorry, somebody else is coming in, so distract me. But continue to add value to that relationship because it's just about loving people well. It doesn't always have to be like, I have something to give them. Like, you as a person and your friendship and your heart and your caring, that is so worthy and so valuable and so huge to people. Like, don't be afraid to just let that be the thing that you offer. You're amazing. People appreciate that. So we're going to refresh our contacts list. And then as your business grows, I always look back on who has joined me in the last month or 2 months. And just, again, that fine tooth comb to make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. Because the most beautiful thing is that people are sharing their vulnerabilities with us, right? They're opening their little boundary door to let us in. And so it's almost like somebody welcoming you into their home. You want to honor that and respect that and cherish that for, the beauty that it is. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I don't really like people have in my house. So for me to open myself up, like it's a big deal. And I always like to honor the people who allow me to do that for them. And then the last thing, because I want to allow time for a little bit of chatting and Q&A. But the last thing is content planning. And I do this every week. I look at my calendar and say, okay, where do I want to get a Plexus post or two in? Thinking ahead. Listen, we all want to be cute and funny on the fly. I don't know about anybody else, but it takes me like 45 minutes to be cute and funny. And ain't nobody got time for that. If you do, God bless. God bless. I don't. And I don't have the patience for it either. And it really makes me like anxious because then I start thinking about all the other things that I should be doing or could be doing, like the dishes and the laundry. And give yourself the gift of a few minutes once a week, like 15, 30 minutes, and think, when can I share a testimony? Can I pick one in advance so that it's ready to go? We're going to work smarter, not harder. We're going to know which direction to drive from New York to LA. All right, choking really quick. Just real quick. Okay, so that's kind of the big nuts of what I'm doing. Okay, we are on a daily basis reaching out to new people. We are reaching out to existing folks and doing excellent customer care. We are posting consistently on social media, and we are doing personal leadership and knowledge development. Weekly, we are reflecting. We are reassessing. We're getting refreshed names. We're making a plan, right? So you have 100% survival rate. You have survived literally everything that life has thrown at you. You will survive this. Ooh, knit, knit. Okay. Okay. So more people are joining in. Perfect. Okay. Well, that goes through like my list and spiel, but I wanted to, like I said, give time for discussion. So I am actually going to stop this recording. Oh, no, I'm not going to stop the recording. We'll just do the questions here. We'll record the questions. That sounds good. Who has a question? Anybody? Thoughts, concerns? You think I'm crazy? You want to tell me what color crazy I am? That's cool. Bueller? You're going to let me off easy tonight. That's means for celebration right there. All righty then, artichokes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I know Brian has had planners and stuff. Is there any certain better planner that you found that you like that works friendly with Plexus, or just any planner? I myself haven't had a planner, so
yes.
But I am a list girl.
So I'm going to be really honest in that. Well, I'm always honest. I hate when people say that, but I'm very much a straight shooter. I'm like a guillotine in my conversation. I'm just like, this is it, babe. For a planner, I've bought at least 6 planners that were specific for network marketing. I never used one of them in full. I always went and got another one. I found them very overwhelming. I found them good things about each, but none of them was fabulous. I've tried a few. I like the Happy Planner. That was cool because I could like interchange the sections and I could really make it the way I wanted it. But then to a certain point, it just got overwhelming. It was really bulky. And again, just I felt like because it had so many options that it was almost my perfectionist self wanted it to be perfect and it was never perfect. What I have found is called the Simplified Planner. The company is Simplified. I don't know if you can see that.
I've heard of that one.
Yes. You can get it. You can even get it at Staples, I think. I think I got mine on Amazon, but maybe they have it at Michael's too. I absolutely love it because it gives me, I'm going to go to like a blank page here. Okay. So it gives me like 2 sections every day and it's just blank lines. So this is like my daily schedule side and I'll put in like if I have a meeting. So I'm color coordinated. Y'all are getting a peek into my list right now.
So pretty.
Yeah. So like if it's a meeting, like an appointment, something that I have to do, it's in hot pink. Like I know that's a non-negotiable. If it's a bill, it's in red because you got to make sure that stuff's paid on time, right? But on the right-hand side is all my business stuff, all my people that I need to follow up with that day. And at the end of the week, I go through my notebook with all my random stuff and I just go back and cross-reference. All of my business follow-ups and people to reach out to are on the right. And then on the left. And then on the right is like all of my random to-dos. I literally have the days my trash goes out. I got to take the recycling out and then bring the recycling back in the next day. I put that on my calendar because I literally will forget. And I've had my recycling pile up for 3 weeks before. So because I didn't have it anywhere. So I love the Simplified Planner because it is strictly that. Simplified. It is just blank space for you to use at your discretion. And that has been the most helpful for me personally.
Have you, I don't know who just asked that question, but did you happen to show them like your little printout things? Because those are super helpful.
Yes. So in addition to that, so I have like the Simplified
Those
Planner.
are.
So in addition to my monthly planner, which has like, here, I'll show you like a month. You know what a month looks like just the squares, right? In addition to that, I also have at least one blank one that I print off from the internet every month. And that's for like my projections. Like I'm at a point now where I have a particular goal every day of a number of orders that are coming through. And so that's what I track. And so I know I need 2 to 3 orders a day. So if there's no blanks filled in, then I know that I'm a little behind on my goal. Don't be afraid to try something. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But yes, I always have a blank calendar for, I don't know, tracking or like separate from my primary calendar, like my primary customer follow-up. Am I making any sense? Am I helping?
Yeah.
No.
I have a question that just came to mind about perk points. Somewhere along the line, I don't know what group it was in that I remember hearing it, but a perk points like report.
Yes.
Like I feel like I have enough friends that I should be following up with, or that I should be checking on that for people. I have no idea about any of it. I actually haven't even looked in the back office to see if I can find it myself yet, but I've thought about it a few times.
Yes. So I love the perks report. So it's
Write it down.
it's a love-hate relationship. I should put a little asterisk on that. It's a love-hate relationship with the perks report. So the perks report is something that came out in the last year, and our perks program, right? When you have your subscription run for over 100 PV, you get perks points towards your next free product. About every 3 months, you earn a free product. So when someone goes in and makes their subscription less than 100 PV, or they turn it off completely, they come up on your perks report, and they have a few days that they can go in and turn that back on so that they can re-grab their points and they don't lose them entirely. And so the perks report is great for checking on that. When you have a smaller team, and when I say that, I mean like less than 20 people, you can really do the job of the perks report right in your main points and PV section. There is under my business, it's in the back under office tab under my business. I think it's called the perks report, but you should be able to do it under points and PV, gold and under. But I love that because it comes up right there. So on a weekly basis, if you were to check that, then you would know who made an adjustment. Now, that being said, Plexus also has a automated follow-up system that you can sign up for. All the information's in the back office, that it will text you when somebody turns off their subscription. And
To be able to help them save those points.
yes. And if you don't respond to that message, then it actually automatically gets forwarded to your upline or your sponsor. So that way that person is still being helped and supported as much as possible, because life happens, right? Life happens. So we are one Plexus and we're all here to work together. Does that answer your question about perks points?
Yep.
Other questions or ideas? Curiosities? Bueller? All right.
Hey, Katie.
What'd you say?
I said, Renee, Katie, any questions?
Not yet.
Well, so good to see your guys' faces tonight. And I just have to give you kudos, because usually when I hop on training calls at night and I'm not doing them, like I keep my camera off the entire time. So kudos to everybody who's like, I love seeing all the faces. That makes me so happy. But my action item for you guys after this call is just to get that list going. That's the first thing, is think about who, start with 5 people. Who's 5 people that you love, that you want to connect with, and that you think that maybe Plexus could help them, right? And that's where we start. And then we'll be in touch and we'll make next step plans for each of them specifically. And I believe our next call is going to be about just kind of like the nuances of messaging, right? Because there's always a trick Right. There's always a little nuance. There's always something to try and change when we are reaching out to people. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys about that too. Anything else? Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
You
You're welcome.
Thank
You guys